Is this? Who is doing that?
3, 2, 1.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
How y'all doing?
We're doing great. We are the Dupards.
I said, how they doing?
I know.
Oh.
And then I say, we're doing great. Because they can't answer.
Oh, that's right.
So we are the Dupards. I'm Reggie Dupard.
I'm LaChanda Dupard.
Yes. And this is Dupardology, which is the study of life of Reggie and LaChanda Dupard family behavior. So every week when we come up with a topic, some of the things we discuss are things that's going to make a difference in other people's lives, or just and put ourselves out there. I'm rarely comfortable with the subjects, but my wife.
You have the most subjects in the family.
Well, I don't know why. Maybe I have the most tragedy.
It's not tragedies,
but
trials and tribulations.
Yes, and
some of them brought on by self.
Yeah, self brought up. I guess conflict on my own self, things that happen. But today is really special because I think we can help individuals that are going through something. And one of the things we're going to talk about initially, the first subject is prostate cancer.
Yes.
I'll just say cancer.
That's a big word.
Yes,
that's a big word.
And I think it is.
Yeah,
it is. It is, and so I guess I'll just start off. Do you want to give some shout outs on liking and?
Oh yeah. We thank y'all so much for increasing the viewer. We're over 3,000 views now. Thank y'all so much.
Awesome.
We just started this channel just to kind of put information out there, help others, because everybody's always asking us, how do we get through this? How do we do that? How did that happen? Well, we're gonna put it out there for you to take some time when you have downtime, where you can go out there and just check it out for yourself.
Right.
So shout outs.
That's
Please like and subscribe to the Dupardology channel. We would graciously appreciate it. It helps us to get more of the word out and get recommended views from other people. So thank you so much if you would do that.
Thank you. Love it.
Like and subscribe.
Well, let's get right into the subject.
Okay. Prostate
first
cancer.
of all, it's 2016. I won't do the whole story, but I've been to the doctor. And one thing about my wife, she harasses me about going to the doctor. And she's proud of herself. But she makes sure I go. She wants me to go because I as a man, I don't talk enough.
Most men
I don't tell all what the doctor would all. So she goes in there, and most of the time when she go in there, I'm looking at her because she'll take over my appointments. And it's interesting. But she does what's best, and I just need to.
And he does get upset about it.
I do.
Occasionally he'll put me
over there
out.
telling my doctor everything. So anyway, in 2016 I went. I go get my exams. I go every 3 to 6 months because I have black men have high blood pressure. So I have all these. I go get med checks. So probably mostly every 6 months. And so I did a PSA test. And so initially the PSA test is the blood test. So a screening, shall I say. So got the screening, and my numbers went from like a 1.5 to a 5. And the next time it went up to like 10. And so, the doctors, they want to make sure that you're okay. So the next thing I skipped the part. They do the screening, and then they do the test, and which is the male. I don't know how to describe that inappropriate test. But they use the finger on you, and they get a glove, and they lubricate. And as young men that's in your 20s, you don't have to worry about it. But they say you should get your screening as African Americans at 55, Caucasians.
So it's a prostate. So it's called
a screening. You do your screening at 45. That's when you get the finger. And
why do we have to keep saying the finger?
Well, that's when you get the.
That sounds so vulgar.
What are we doing?
It's called the PSA screening.
Oh, the screening. If they don't know, somebody out there might not know.
But you're scaring people by saying you get a finger.
Until you come up with a better word.
Okay.
You get the test. And so at 45, African Americans are. But I say get it way, and especially my son, who of course I've had a prostate cancer. You get it early if you have history of.
He never had a prostate case. He had a history of prostate cancer because of you, right?
Right. Okay. No, all I'm saying is if you have history in your family,
it's good to start early.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It never will hurt. So
my bad.
Go to the doctor. And so we go, and I end up getting, it was my test. They do a biopsy. They say I need a biopsy because my PSA levels are at a 10 from the screening. And so go right to the biopsy thing. The biopsy is another test they give you, another most evasive. I mean, it's just wrong.
Y'all don't get any more different tests than we as women get. We get sometimes whole hands, okay? We have babies, full-bodied children come out of us. And y'all men, y'all gotta have to man up and just
thank God I don't have to do that. I'm glad you're a woman. I'm glad I'm a man. Okay. Men, we got the good deal. Anyway, so let me get, because I want to get to the meat of this here situation.
Yeah.
So we go, and so I schedule an appointment, and so they tell you, because there's 7 ways you can do it. So you go get your biopsy, and the biopsy is where they go in and go to I guess they go to your prostate, and they do samples, and they go from your left, your right, and pick, and they do the biopsy and see how much, where the cancer is, how much cancer, so they can say your levels, so they can tell you what your PSA level is. And so we go to get the biopsy. So I'll go in there, and I'm not sure exactly how that works, right? Because I don't know how to say this, but
try.
Okay, it's so wrong. So they put a, can I say the word? We got young people. So they put a condom on this thing, and then and the goal is for them to put the condom, and then they can go in you. And,
it's on an instrument. It's a scope.
Yeah,
and they go in.
And so, first of all, so that's true. So I tell my wife, I say LaChanda,
very adamantly,
because she go in and she want to talk and everything, right? So I say, look,
because here's the thing: you want to talk so you can understand everything, so that you don't go to the place where you just go in and just let's get it done and over with, and then cause chaos in the doctor's office. So that's why I ask questions. Proceed.
Okay, and I have some examples of some things. So I didn't really understand. They said, well, we're going to put this scope in. So they had this one little thing. I don't know what it was, but I thought it was something like this, right? And then when it was time for them to do the actual screening of the test, it ended up being something like this that they were going to use on me and my wife.
But who told you it was going to be like this? Who told you it was like this?
Well, I just was looking around.
Oh.
And
so
I saw something that was
gonna be, you just picked something out of the doctor's office.
Whatever they had in there was looking like. I said,
and you thought that's it.
I thought that was it. Then it was this huge thing. And I said, what? And so the guy, they start putting it on, the guy started putting it on. And I said, well, what you going to do with that right there? He said, this is what we're going to use to insert you. I said, what? You going to do what? And I panicked. I said, Sean, I started calling him. I said, need my wife. I need my wife.
Y'all, we're laughing about this.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to find humor in this kind of thing, okay?
Yeah. So it wasn't humorous at the time.
He put me out of the office.
I put out.
You can just go, wait in the room. You don't need to be in here. I got this. I said, okay. And I honored my husband and went into the room.
She really did. And I
about 10 minutes later, the nurse comes flying out. We need you. And I'm thinking something has happened. Something's going on. Went wrong. I go in there and he's like, oh, my hand.
It was out of control. And, I think I heard the nurse.
Oh, my hand.
And they say that's what happened to most men. It's intimidating. And some guys even say, look, I'm not doing this. And I really, really considered it, but I say, okay, let me see. Because what they do, they try to deaden it first. But before it's really...
What they deaden?
Those areas of your body that is painful in your...
rectum?
That thing, yeah. And so... So they did, and so you have a little pain in the beginning, but then it's dead. And so...
let me say this. The way that you're describing this, I know we're supposed to be promoting for people to really go and get their screening, but this is really kind of destroying the whole motivation of going to the doctor.
Well, you got to do it because it's easy. Well, I mean, I'm laughing about it, but it's serious because.
And that's just that's Dupardology. That's what we do. We make fun out of situations.
And that's right. And the reason why I say that is because I know people, and as a matter of fact, I know one of LaChanda's uncle who played around with that prostate cancer.
He didn't want to go to the doctor. He didn't play around with it. He was afraid to go to the doctor.
And like most men, we don't like to doctors. We don't want to do it. And so it's a matter of life and death. So I'm joking about it, but I fought through it, and I'm going to do what I have to do.
Right.
And that's just part of life.
It is.
And if you can go and have a whole baby come out of you.
Thank you very much.
2 times, and then,
And it was very painful.
and you had a tough
And it
pregnancy.
almost killed me.
And that's one of the things that I was like, I got to do this, and because I want to be around. And that's the so men, young ladies or ladies, if you have a friend, a boyfriend, family member, a brother, please make sure
Encourage them
to get the prostate exams, and don't wait till 45 like they say. Go, I would say go 35 or close to 40, but because you never know, and because people are getting things a lot earlier,
earlier.
Yes, and so we went on. So and the subject of this is how we supported one another, and without the support of my wife, of course, the harassment she gave me, and I needed
standing
that.
up to you when you were telling me to get out and don't come in here and I got this and so that's support.
And one of the things that they do, they give you once the biopsy came back and that I did have prostate cancer. And so we did catch it early, and they give you an option of what you want to get, treatment with surgery you want to get, treatment. And so there's one.
So we had the diagnosis,
you
had the exam, the screening, the exam, the diagnosis, and now this is the treatment.
The treatment or the what we're going to do to fix this.
Got it.
And so they first send you to a person, and they give you the first one. They call it radical, where they remove the whole process. And of course, the process where they hold the prostate. Yeah. I'm sorry, I just misspoke. Sometimes we do that.
That's okay.
I'm talking kind of fast.
That's why I'm here to help.
Because I know we have a lot to talk about, and so I don't want to miss you. And so, so they give you an option. So I go to the guy, and they do robotics, and they do these things, and so they tell you what they're gonna do and how they go in, and everything is so digitally done with, they don't even do it with hands anymore. And so they removed your whole prostate. And then, of course, after you get your prostate removed, then you have to, use a bag the urine in for a couple of days. Oh, no, I'm using hand expressions to, like, I'm holding it down there. Because I know it's so painful. And it's, and as
you are hilarious, Reggie.
I'm sorry. And so it is nothing to play with. So anyway, they removed the whole prostate.
Okay, so when they were explaining all of this, would you share what your response was to the doctor who wanted to completely remove everything?
Well, my response was, I was like, really? They have to do all that? It's got to be a better way. But everyone, I think they do it according to your age, and you have to do what's best for me. So I actually talked to people that did the removal, and then I talked to the people, of course, when the doctor also, they sent me to a doctor that does the radiology, right?
Breathe, because it's like you're reliving this, baby. Just breathe.
I'm okay. No, so they and you can interject.
No, this is great. I'm listening.
So we go and we get. So I talked to the one doctor, did the radical. Then they do where they do the radiation, and they take the radiation, and you go in for, like, I guess 30, 40 minutes, and they burn the cells. You don't feel anything.
They point the laser to you, and they zap
to that area. They point it to you lay down, and you go into this machine.
I thought you were standing up.
No. You lay down, and I
couldn't go in.
They put it in, and they zap, and you don't feel anything. All you do is after the first.
But that was okay. Let's go back, because I know you're rushing through it because you're hyperventilating over here. Y'all, his heart is beating. It's like he's reliving his whole experience again. Yeah. I'm gonna slow you down because it's okay. This is a YouTube video.
We got time.
It's going to be out there. If they want to watch the whole thing, they can. If they want to cut through it, they can. If they want to skip forward, they can do that too. But we don't want to miss any information.
Yes.
So when they gave you, so our deal was we had to go to both doctors, the radical doctor and then the doctor that did the radiation.
Right.
And I went with you on both.
You did.
Because we felt like this was a decision that we both needed
as a family. Even though it was my body, but we all had to live with, and we needed to be informed. Because if you had to give me any kind of care or treatment,
I needed to know. We just wanted to know.
And we're a family. That's kind of.
If that was it, then that's it. But we all wanted to know. Right. So you go and you see that doctor, and when you left that doctor, the radical doctor that said we're just gonna move everything out.
Well, but I don't. First of all, they just talk like no big deal. We're gonna snatch it out. I'm like, wait a minute, we're gonna remove that.
You did not say snatch.
Well, it's some serious stuff. And one of the things as men we talk about that's high on, I guess, your likes or high on what's important to you, it affects your sex life.
It's just yeah.
Yeah, so and they tell you, well, we're not going to touch these nerves. With technology, it's to the point where we don't move these nerves. We just remove this, and so and I, of course, I go and I talk to different friends, and I ask them
yeah,
as
that's
well.
true. That's true. And their experience.
So,
And there's other things you can do if you choose that route. There's other artificial things that you can put in place to help stimulate your life so that you can have.
I wasn't going to talk about that. I really wasn't going to talk about it. With my wife, and she's beating around the bush. She's talking about the pump. Where you pump yourself
it
up.
Stimulates to help you if you needed to go that route.
And you use that to make something happen for you and your family.
But you didn't. Okay, so you chose what?
I chose to do the radiation.
Okay, and why did you choose radiation?
Well, because after talking to the doctors and talking to friends that had it, it was less evasive.
Yes.
It wasn't painful. And
the recovery was better.
And then I was at the point where my hormone levels were high. So, because some people have to do hormone treatment, so I already had high testosterone.
You sure did.
And so when I went in, all had friends said, "Man, you didn't do the hormone therapy." I didn't have to do it. My levels were already high.
But I mean, you were young when you got diagnosed.
2016. That's not that young. But anyway, so I did that. I did the radiation treatment, and one of the things that I did, of course, it was just between me and my wife. But then I talked to my son, and he was fine.
Yeah.
He, my son, even killed guy. Dad, we're gonna be all right.
Get through this.
We're gonna do okay. We support anything we could do. And then the girl, she was in college, and so
they were both in college.
Yeah, right.
And they came home for Christmas.
Yeah.
So we never told them that we were going through all of this.
No, some things you don't tell your children.
Until you just know all of the details, then you give it to them. And you give it to them lightly. So we waited for them to come home for Christmas break.
Yeah.
They were both in college. So they came home for Christmas break. We had the family meeting. That was Jonathan's response. Dad, we're going to get through this. And then Rachel's like, when we said it, she's like, cancer.
That's all she heard. And people hear cancer.
And everything else, all the other words was like, wah, 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 wah. See, that's all she heard.
And that's my girl.
So we're talking.
Yeah.
Rachel ends up on the floor. Oh, my dad is going to die. Oh, my God. My dad is.
Yeah.
It was horrendous. It was just horrendous.
And it didn't do me any good either. Because I'm kind of emotional fella.
Then she's upset, then he's upset. And me and Jonathan are like, okay, guys, come on.
Pull it together. Them two, don't cry. We don't see tears from them. I don't know what's missing. But anyway.
We're in control of our emotions, right, Jonathan?
I think you can control them or you don't have them for whatever reason. I'm an emotional creature, and
You have become one. You weren't always that way. Just in your age, you've gotten emotional.
Okay, well, thank
and when you see Rachel cry, that makes
that's sort of and it sort of threw us, and so we had to deal with her.
So went through the family thing, pulling y'all, it was so dramatic. Mm-hmm. I actually record. I still have it recorded on my phone, and I'll pull it up every now and then, and we use it just for our family to go, did you remember that response? And one of the other things I want to say, Reggie, is that the doctors will tell you your response when you first find out that you're diagnosed with cancer is normally how you will respond throughout your journey. Now, you took it pretty shockingly at first, but it wasn't dramatic.
Yeah, it wasn't dramatic, but then it did throw me off because you want to ask yourself why, and then of course, why not? You can't, because I didn't have any family history of it. My dad didn't have it or anything like that, to my knowledge.
Oh yeah.
And so that's some of the questions you ask yourself, and so it was a pretty tough thing to deal with.
It was tough, and then after all the dust settled and he took it, I thought he was really taking it well, but shall we share just a little bit of bump in the road of what you went through?
I think you probably do what you do.
Okay.
Do yourself.
Right. So, and this is how we support as spouses. And the only reason I want to bring it out is because it was just something I had to initially work through with my husband, because it was, hey, cancer now. There's so many questions. What am I going to do? How am I going to live through this? All this, blah, blah, blah. So one day he came home after this. Now his was not so bad, so they didn't have to schedule him right away. So his scheduled appointments were like a month out. So within that month time frame, there's things going on in his mind. So he's like, you know what? One day he comes to me, he says, I think I'm gonna take a trip to New Orleans.
Oh, that story. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that one.
I thought you was going to talk about, but go ahead. That's cool.
You thought I was talking about what?
But no, because there's some things the what you did when I decided that I was going to have the cancer, do everything. You told me let's share with other people.
Oh yeah, that was afterwards.
I was very uncomfortable. With
yeah, you didn't
want
to. Yeah, but that's later. Okay. So you're getting ahead. So we have to tell this.
Maybe I'm trying to get ahead.
I know you are subconsciously. I know what it is. But so here's the thing. My support it wasn't feel good. You know, I'm not perfect, but I'm what? I'm not perfect.
Straight shooter.
I'm a straight shooter,
yeah,
but I'm not perfect.
That's why I call you the honey badger.
You named me the honey badger. That's right, and I take that name with such pride. So here's the thing. So when he came home one day, he's like, "Listen, I'm going to New Orleans." And I'm like, okay, well, that's our trips together. So when he said I'm going to New Orleans, all I heard was, we're going to New Orleans. So I started packing. You can laugh. So I go and pack my bags, and I'm packing my bags, and he comes in there, and he's got this straight face. He's like, oh, you're not going on this trip. What? What do you mean? What? Who's not going? Didn't you say that? I'm not
I did. And we typically, I don't go to New Orleans.
We have never really gone to New Orleans alone. That was the only.
Solo.
That was it. Since we've been married.
But sometimes men, individual people, I get in your car and you can think. You know what I'm saying? You get clarity. Okay. You allow God to guide you and just clear your head. So that was my thinking, but I was unable to express that.
Yeah, you did not express.
I didn't do a good job.
You didn't express it at all. You just said, "I'm going to New Orleans."
But that's not like me, is it?
No, it's not.
Well, you couldn't understand.
I did not. I had really bad understanding at the time.
But see, you gotta have better understanding when people are going through stuff.
Well, it taught me a lesson.
Okay.
Oh, you learned me, as my grandfather said. You learned me. So when he said that, I was like, okay, I'm going. I know I'm going. You're not playing. You're not serious, are you? He's like, no, I'm going by myself. So he had this little attitude, and I was like, okay, he's serious. So I had to step back as the virtuous woman and say, my husband needs his time. Even though I had a bad taste in my mouth about it, I did not like it because I'm thinking he's about to go have fun. I'm not going to get to have fun, and I'm going to be back here at the house, and it's just not right.
Of course, I got a man have cancer still, right?
You still have it, but you wasn't dying. We were still married, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We're still married. So I did not understand it, ladies. And I don't know if y'all would understand it at the time. However, I did eventually figure it out. And I'm like, okay. So when he starts to go out and just go, and the whole weekend, a couple of times I tried to call him, phone go to voicemail. I'm like, oh,
is that right?
What? He not answering?
I didn't know my phone went to voicemail. Oh, I think I went to like a Saints game or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I was just hanging out.
Oh yeah, he was just hanging out. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Jonathan? What is Jonathan said? I wish y'all recorded it in high. I did record it. I did, Jonathan. Yeah, it was dramatic. Look. Yes. Thank you for saying this, son. I know it was very dramatic. So the thing about it is, when he came back from New Orleans, I was like, okay, I had a little bad taste in my mouth, but I had to understand that was just something that he was going through, and I had to accept it. So all I'm looking at is going through the healing process now. What do we need to do? And is he going to come out of this spiral? Because he was spiraling like, he was almost like you felt like you were what? I don't know. What were you feeling like?
Well, I just felt, sometimes you can, I don't know, feel sorry for yourself, not trusting God. And so, I'm the kind of person, I don't like talking to I don't like telling people my problems. I'm not going to go to my friends and tell them, hey man, I got this. And I just don't do that. And so I was dealing with it myself. And that's one of the reasons why I think the best thing to do is to share and be honest and open, because as a result, I have several friends, man, and once they found out, that I had it, they called me and I walk them through it, and I'm able to help them, and so they don't feel like I felt, because sometimes it's the fear of the unknown, and I had the fear of the unknown, and I would tell guys, well, this is what I experienced. We talk about how it affects you sexually, or how, and what it does and doesn't do. And
Okay,
so,
but you went ahead. So the
Yeah.
treatment, after you got back from New Orleans, you did the
oh, we
treatment.
still talking about New Orleans?
No, I
Okay.
said after you got back, you went through your
I
treatment.
did. We did the
Okay,
treatment.
so tell them how long did the treatment
Well,
last?
they usually last 30 to 45 days. I think I did like 30.
40?
I think I did 40 days.
40 days.
And what I would do, I would get up in the morning, go to work. No,
We established a routine.
I did a routine.
Okay, we started a routine.
Routine.
I took
Yeah,
charge of it.
she did. She did a wonderful
I
job.
took charge of
My
it.
wife did a wonderful
And he
job.
fought me on it initially.
Did I really?
Yes, you did.
Okay, tell the routine.
So
Tell
the
them
routine
what
was,
LaChanda Dupard, how you took control.
so he did not want me to take him on his radiation treatments. He wanted to go, and I understood that that was a part of his life that he needed to control at the time. So he went on his appointments.
Because my wife, she'll go in there with me. She'll do everything but go under the radiation.
You're crazy.
She all in my business. But go ahead.
So he goes in for the treatments, and when he comes home after the treatments, I put him in the shower.
Oh no, you put me in the shower. I turn the shower.
I'm saying I prepared you for the shower.
I'm like you put me in the shower. Did you bathe me? My God.
I had you get undressed, and we got you in the shower. I helped you, and then you got in and you took care of it and you got out.
Yeah, and then what happened?
Okay, so then when he would get out of the shower, I already had the bed ready for him. He would get in the bed.
At the end, I got tired. I would get tired.
Yeah, each day of the radiation, it just it drains you a little bit. So I was happy to come home, and I prepared his meal.
Healthy meals.
Very healthy meals. And with the radiation, he had a loss of appetite, so he wasn't eating as much.
And I was slim and looking good.
Boy, let me tell you, them 40 days, this is how we know if you eat what small portions that you really will get back to yourself.
Right.
So at the end,
I had no carbs,
no carbs, no sugar.
And you was on me.
I was on you.
Because the kids was salad, like, even Rachel, and they were like, Daddy, don't eat this. They harassed me.
Yeah, we wouldn't let him eat any sugar. We wouldn't let him drink any sodas, which he didn't drink a lot of anyway.
I don't drink a lot of sodas anyway.
Yeah, but we do. You have a little sugar tooth, though.
Well, what did I get? Who helped me with that?
I didn't. That's not my fault.
That's another subject.
All right, that's a whole nother
subject. Yes, go ahead, man.
Through that, each day doing that same routine, and then he would go to sleep. And then after you would go to sleep, you take your little nap, you get up, move around a little bit. Then I would have dinner prepared for him, small portion of dinner. And then, he would move around. And through this process, I just gained so much respect for him because he did not miss one day of work. Right. Reggie you went to work every day. You got up in the morning, went to your treatments, came home. We did that thing, worked a little bit, came home. And then it was like, boom, bam, right. So that was a strength that I saw him. He was determined to keep moving, to keep going, just to make it through it. And I had to help him through that part of just being a support system. If you need anything, what can I get you? That kind of stuff. Right. So at the end of the 40 days, we waited, and your PSA levels started to drop.
And even to this day, it's still dropping. It's like,
is it PSA?
Okay.
PSA.
It's like at a 1, and most men 1 or 2, depends on what you do that day. It can elevate, So like if you have relations before you go, it'll be high,
right?
Because it's active. So mine stay like 0.59 now. So
and you have to go every 6 months to get it checked.
Yeah, I was going every 3, then I go every 6 now, and so I'm actually cleared. I'm cancer free by the grace of God.
Yay!
Yes. And the thing of it is, I got to the point where I shared that information with other, because it's very prevalent, and black and white men. I've had white friends that call me. Of course, I won't tell their names, but they're going through it and they have been successful.
Yeah, right. So you opened up about it and shared, helped other people.
And now that is not what I do. But this lady here that I live with, my wife, she encouraged me. And in the end, I felt good because I was helping people, and people were calling me, and I was able to share with them. And so I remember I was at work and I was speaking to all of the managers in the school system in Fort Worth, and they had a lot of a lot of men in there, a lot of black men, and some just say, talk about prostate cancer. I'm presenting for the school, and I just start telling them, I say, man, I don't know why. I say, but God told me to talk about prostate cancer. And I start telling these people about prostate cancer in the middle of a presentation.
Look at that.
Because when God tell you to do something, and the brothers, they were receiving it. They were like,
Amen.
and so we just got to be obedient. I don't care where it is. God tell you to do something, you just got to do it.
You just got to.
And I'm so happy and proud of that, because before, I ain't talking about stuff like that.
It's your personal life,
me.
you know. But a lot of time there's stigma that comes along with it. So let's talk about that before we close out. The stigma that comes along with prostate cancer.
But let me get to the initial things, the problems, or some of the things that I do have from that. One of the things is,
I'm sorry, my lips are dry. I'm sorry.
One of the things I go to the restroom more, but now I take some little pills, and they actually help me.
What? Oh,
Do you remember
the little red ones?
No, the prescription that stopped me from going to the restroom.
For the urine, for the bladder.
Bladder, yeah,
for the bladder.
Yes. Because the little active bladder boy to run away on it. So you know, I start out like
it'll run away on you.
It is just out of control, and so I always like plan, you know, how much water, you know, if I'm gonna have how much coffee I got to drink, I know, and so now I can really hold it longer now.
It controls the medication.
Yeah, the medication helps, and so it is so, and that's one of the things, and
so that's the biggest side effect from
so for me. Now, I'm not gonna get into any other kind of talk on here about the sexual life. If you're a man and you need to talk about
it, can we talk a little bit about
it? Some things we just don't need to be talking about, Ms. Dupard.
Okay.
But I'm okay. I'm very happy with my situation.
That's what I was gonna say. Okay. It can be very satisfying afterwards. You don't lose a thing. Okay, right. You don't lose anything.
But I would say, but then again.
But then, I mean, with age, you're gonna.
Okay.
With age,
I'm not 20 years old.
You're not 20, and when you're 50 and 60, you're still not 20. So whether you have prostate cancer or not, something is still your body changes, and nobody want to be doing all that all the time anyway. Like every day, 5-6 times a day.
I'm not going to confirm.
But we do have. But we have a very, very healthy sex life. Sorry, Jonathan and Rachel. But we do have a very healthy sex life. Okay. And, you know, the frequency, we don't have to go into all that. But it's very... Okay, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute, player. Okay. All right, back to helping individuals. The most important thing is that you have life. And just let me say this. If that was something was removed from, I would not want that. But your life is more important,
very important,
than something like that. So I had all these different thoughts. So young men, old men, make sure when you come of age, make sure you get tested. Make sure you go to your doctor's appointment. Take care of yourself, and and eat right. Do the best you can do. Walk, exercise, because you're okay now, but when you start getting 67 years old, those bones get stiff. I get stiff getting out the car now.
And things move slowly, okay? Yeah, and for the ladies out there, here's what I can offer. Man. Support your husband.
And just...
It takes a little bit more time.
Listen to me. You just...
But you know what?
The investment... I don't know what you're going to say.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Because you're inappropriate sometimes.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, you got to enjoy getting into the mood of things. So, okay, Reggie, I'm sorry. I just want to share. We'll have a personal group session on this one day, I guess. But it can be very, very... Okay, I'm sorry.
Men call me. I'll elaborate, but I'm not going on air and talk about this. If you got any questions...
It's a beautiful thing. It's really a beautiful thing.
I'm very honest about it, but I'm not going to get on here.
We don't have to tell about all of our techniques and our little stuff that we do.
Moving on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And that's the one thing I do with the support my wife gave me. I thank her for encouraging me to tell my story, and the way she encouraged me. She said, "You can help other people," because I said
that was huge. I'm so glad you did that.
And that's what I'm all about. If I can help someone else have a better life, or even better than mine, that's what I'm all about, helping others.
Amen. That's exactly what it's all about. Yeah. Elder George, Paul George, love this. Amen. Thank you so much for tuning in with us.
Yeah, and Mr. George, that's my homeboy from Kenner.
Kenner!
Hey man, he right up there with me. I always thought he was a lot younger than me, and I hope he's going to get his exams.
You better go get those exams, because
Yes,
I
yes.
have one of my favorite uncles I lost to this, and it was because he was just too afraid to go. And at the end, he said, he told me, he said, I wish I would have gone to the doctor. So it is very prevalent in my family, and it's something that took my grandfather's life. You know, back then they didn't have a whole lot of, what do you call it? Not diagnosis, ways to help the cancer. But what's the word I'm looking for? They didn't have a whole lot treatments. Thank you. They didn't have a whole lot of treatments for it, and so a lot of people just didn't know.
And you have a history in your family
Of prostate cancer, yeah, with a lot of my uncles, and they're still here today. They found it early, caught it early, and so all of the men in my family go and get their tests. So we're happy for that. We're happy for Reggie to still be around. God, and I told him when he first got diagnosed, I said, this is the end. Cancer is not going to win in our family. It's just not going to win. It did not win, and we're moving and shaking. So there is hope out there. And ladies, I'd love to share. If y'all have questions, please let us know. We would love to share more about how to support your spouse through a diagnosis like this. It's traumatic. We're just kind of weird because we do find a little comedy in things, and it's just how we are.
Because it is very serious, but sometimes you have to laugh in your trials, because, you know, we must go through things sometimes to make it into the kingdom of heaven. And through trials, you'll be blessed and you'll be stronger. So
yes.
if life was just so peachy, what would we do?
Well, what we do?
What would we do? But God keeps us on our knees.
God keep us on our knees, because He know we got to be kept on our knees.
My God.
What Elder Paul say? Radical treatments
and radiation treatment.
Oh, is that radiation? Oh, radiation. Woo-woo.
Yes, it worked. Thank you, Brother Paul.
Look at that testimony.
Yes.
And there's so many more people need to hear about this. So that's why we chose to share this. And hopefully, please share this YouTube video with friends, family. You'll be able to please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share this with so many people.
And see, you'll be surprised. Like, this is my brother from Kenner. You know, that's Harold's cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Mr.
Harold George. Yeah, okay.
And I didn't know that he went through this. And, you know, you just never know who's going through stuff. And so when people going through stuff, sometimes you got to share.
Well, maybe we can have have somebody, have Mr. George, if he wants to in the future, come on and do a little talk with you on prostate cancer. The more brothers talk about it,
right,
the better. And, you know, people just don't know that you can survive and still have a very vibrant life.
And not just, and of course, there's all types of cancers, but that's just our experience. And you know, people are sick all the time. And so whatever you have, you got to fight, and you got to trust in God.
Yeah, and it's just good to have a good support system.
Oh yeah, good. You got to have that. Thank you, my love.
You're very welcome. My pleasure. Because God has work for us to do. We ain't got time for no cancer to be taking us out. We got way too much work to do. Cancer, all that mess can come this way. Warfare, spirit, keep coming at us, spirits. We got you. Because greater is He that is in us than he that is in this world.
Amen,
so we got you.
That's my warrior right there. She ain't playing. She's very serious. She gets in her closet and
get in that closet, and it trembles up in that closet. You hear me? We tremble. Me and the Lord and the Holy Spirit, we tremble. We tremble up in that closet. Do you hear me? Because sometimes you do have to get through this. Now, I'm not going to say we didn't have bad days. We did find comedy. We were supportive for one another, but there were moments where we just had to kind of go aside and just get into the Word and spiritually deposit things in our minds. I would play the meditation music. I would play encouraging things for Reggie. He would put his headphones on sometimes and just hear the Word. So those are the things that you have to do to really survive this.
And I think what we're going to do, because we're spread it, because it's really on my heart. We probably should get a panel of men.
Elder George said he would love to do that.
So let's get that panel, and everyone experiences different. Because I can't speak on the radical piece, and so maybe there's someone, and we want to support whatever someone's decision is, because it depends on your situation, your age, how serious it is. So, but that's something I chose to do. I would never say anything negative about.
Oh no. Radical. If you choose to do radical, hey, and if that, removing everything,
that's what's because it's about your life.
You can still have a healthy life with that as well.
And all of that.
This is just our story, so our experience, your experience.
Okay.
So we would love to have a different perspective if someone had a radical treatment and
and is ready to share and be open, because you're going to help somebody, because somebody's going to need that,
right.
are going to have that, and really need to have that, and they need to be encouraged, and that's what we are. We are brother's keeper.
We are brother's keeper. We are
yeah.
brother's keeper.
Yes.
Good job, Dupard. High five.
Well, all right, Ms. Dupard.
Wait, I ain't like that energy.
All right, okay. Wow. This woman here keeps me going.
All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in. And what else do you want to say before we get out of here, Dupard?
Well, I thought we were going to discuss some things.
Oh, we're not done.
Well, we're done. We're closing because it went a little longer. But I was going to get into some of the things you've gone through health wise.
Me? That's a different podcast.
Okay.
Right?
Well, we'll do that another day then.
Yeah, we'll do that another day.
I was going to try to slip something in because your personality. So I was going to slip something in.
Okay. Well, you want to give a snippet of it for the next episode then? Because that's probably going to lead.
Well, there's several things that my wife is the kind of person, and I'll just slip it in for the next episode. But she's she's had miscarriage, and her personality, because some people it's hard to deal with, but she's the kind of person, I call it a honey badger, and we'll just have to talk about that.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know that we lost a child. In between Jonathan and Rachel, we lost a child. So we want to share that part with all. And again, it's going to be a little different perspective because I handle things a little differently.
Yeah, she's a lot different than I would have. This woman here, I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about it next time.
Another day. We thank you all for tuning in.
We thank y'all so much.
Yes.
Again, like and subscribe. Please share this video with others so that they too can really, really come forth and be blessed from it. We just want to help bless people in America.
Yes.
Or wherever it goes. Okay.
Yes. And man, look, first of all, God is good. No matter sometimes what your health is, God is able to heal the body, and we trust in God. He will sustain you,
and protect you. All right, y'all.
That's what He does.
Peace out. Thank y'all so much for joining, and we'll see y'all next Wednesday.
God bless.